Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. ZEBLAZE is back. They've got another iteration of their GTR. This one is GTR 2, and look at that. They're hyping up to 14 days of battery life in standby and a full week in regular use. Now, this is a really different watch than the original GTR. We're going to explain that to you after we tell you. You can get it from a couple of different sources. There's the official ZEBLAZE store on AliExpress. They have it, and you can click on the link in the show notes to head over there and pick it up for about $38, $37.50, somewhere in that neighborhood. Or, if you like, you can hop into Banggood's backyard. They also sell it, and it's right now about $40, but check for coupon discounts because both of them are always tossing coupons at us. Either one works. Appreciate it if you use our links in the show notes. In terms of the innards on this, the new GTR 2, is an actual Bluetooth calling watch. The GTR 1, not so much. But the first one was like 5 atmosphere waterproof, definitely a swimming watch. This one, not so much. So there really are two completely different beasts. They both did Bluetooth 5.0. This is, they claim, IP68 waterproof with a speaker and microphone. It's just not really, it's not the same, honestly, as having a 5 ATM. Okay, what have we got in this thing? We've got a Realtek 8762C. We are using GloryFit. We'll show you that for the Tethering app. These are the languages for the watch, and these are the ones for the app. The features include your typical stuff that you find: stopwatch, timer, heart rate, blood oxygen, blood pressure, sleep time, calories burned, tracking, and everything. Not a whole lot different than what's in a typical watch these days. It's a nice design, and it's their latest upgrade. It's a 1.28-inch screen, 240 by 240 pixel, and again, they're talking about 2 weeks standby time and 7 days use. There's no GPS in it, but it does do the Bluetooth calling and, of course, have a music player in it as well. So, opening the box, we can check out the innards. It comes ready to assemble. Batteries included. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, the bands are off of it, and you get your choice of bands in the colors that you choose. This is a kind of a rubberized, what would you call that? Butterscotch, I guess. It's supposed to be brown. And we have a silver actual watch module itself here. They're notifying us that GloryFit's the app they want us to use. And you got to make sure you peel all of these protective screens off. Charging ports here, your diodes. Yep, removable bands for sure. It looks like the bezel should turn, doesn't it? It doesn't, unfortunately. Kind of a big edge and recess down. Haven't seen that for a while. Because of that, it makes it on the thicker side, but it's a design feature, I presume, and we'll turn that on in a minute. Then you've got the charging wire, which is, interestingly, a 2-pin wire for a 4-pin connector, and it uses the inner 2 pins. Almost all other 4-pin watches, the outer 2 are for power and the inner 2 are for data. So make sure you don't get this anywhere near a watch that you plug in that's like your Android watch or something, because you might fry it if you apply power to those inner 2 buttons. Little subtleties you pick up on this channel that a lot of folks review everything, including watches, don't quite go deep enough to make sure you don't hurt yourself with this stuff. All right, we also have a manual in here, Health and Fitness Smartwatch. Another thing we do, it annoys some folks, it's a godsend for others, as we page through the manual in here. This is one of those crazy manuals where they mix all of the languages together. So sadly, we have to look at each page. They're not separate little manuals in here. They're all combined together. There's the QR code to download the GloryFit app. We have a link in the show notes. And the advice, as I always give, is go to the Google Play Store and download it directly from the Play Store to your phone. You don't want to really use a QR code to go to China server and download it unless you really can't find it anymore. Okay, as you can tell, each of these paragraphs are in multiple languages, and it's saying the same thing in different languages. And the whole manual, one manual, covers all of it. So we're just going to page through so you can freeze frame it if you want to, and go back and take a look at it if you need to. And then we're going to dive into the watch. Now, I've actually been using it quite a bit to check it out. So I had disassembled it and put it back in the box for you so you can see what it looks like in the unboxing. But once we turn it on, I've got a custom watch face I downloaded from the app, which was really cool. The phone app has a watch store in there, and you can do custom watch design as well from the app. So a lot of flexibility with the watch faces. And I found one I really, really like. I'll show you that once we get to the watch. Come on, let's get to the watch. All right, a few more pages. And then we can... There's so much in here for such a tiny watch. Android watch manuals are smaller. My goodness. Okay. Well, ZBlaze is really going into the manual design. I guess they want to make sure you've got everything covered. There's the overall specs here in the book. And we are done. Now, I'm going to put the watch together and show you how it works. We have two buttons on the side, a round one and then kind of a pill-shaped button. We press and hold the round one. Nothing happens, no vibration, no nothing. You got to hold it for a while. You get the logo and then you get the first watch face. A little elusive. Look how that's recessed down in there. Haven't seen that since the 2018, 2019 time frame. Yeah, we went bezel-less with the smooth edges, the way Samsung did with their phones, with curved and everything. Now we're back to this, yeah, it's a whole different thing, especially when you need to slide across a watch and get your finger in here over that edge. But it's what they've chosen, so we'll go through it. Here you go. You've got the battery level and date and information. Fast timeout on this one. I'm not quite sure what that magnifying glass does. This is your overall brightness. And it's real sensitive. If you touch it wrong, it slides to another screen. That's the lowest brightness, and it's already still pretty strong bright. You can brighten it up even more, and there's full brightness, which makes it easy to see outside. There's the stock watch face that comes up. So I'm going to run it really on lowest brightness, I think. Here's the information on it, GTR2 for when you're tethering, and then you've got settings here where you can do power off, reset, and info. Now this is kind of weird. You see how it's lit up for the first one, reset, and you can't slide and move these. But the other ones are actually active if you touch it, but it's very subdued. So I'm not sure what they're trying to get at with that user interface, but it's not very convenient. You can barely see it indoors. Outdoors, you can't see it at all. So you got to rely on the icons for navigation. It's true for the apps as well. You see it's a little sluggish too on coming back to me. Covered all of these except for this one. Listen carefully.
Power on.
Did you hear her say power on? Power on. That is turning on the Bluetooth connectivity to your phone for making and receiving phone calls. You can individually turn that off if you want to, and then the watch works as a watch and you get that 14-day life. Gosh, I wish it had a not so quick a timeout. But when you turn it on, then you're connected, and any calls that come in will ring in your watch and so forth. So let's move out of here and get into other things. This side, we get into your app drawer, and this side, you get into your call stuff. There's dial pad. Notice I can't get up to it, but I can see it, and I can reach it. No, actually, sorry, I can't until I go down here to switch. And whoops, and I hit the icon. It said power on again, and it turned the icons on. Now the icons are on, but the words are still, it's really, you got to get used to this. I'm going to keep that off for now because we're not going to be doing calling on this one. So coming up, you get to your notifications pushed from your watch. We've covered all 4 directions right now. Let's get back to the watch face and come over to the app drawer. I'm at the top, but I can't go higher. I can go into training, and you see we have outdoor running, cycling, and skipping. And you have other ones, and as you go through them, they'll slide up. Why the writing is barely visible is beyond me, but if you are icon driven, you know that's a volleyball, which is different than cricket, okay? And that's rugby, not football for Americans. Yeah, anyway, it's icon driven. Yoga's in here, sit-ups. You're not gymnastics even. Boating, but not swimming. There's no swimming in this one like you find in the GTR, the basic original. But you do have these other activities, and your typical ones like outdoor running and cycling and whatnot. They don't use GPS for distance computation. The running and walking are using the step count. Now you get into heart rate. Here you go, look at that. It's continuous heart rate. There's times I've taken it off, times I was a little more active. This is today, and uses the green diode technology in the back. You have blood pressure, and these are individual readings. So as you take it, the readings will add up. And again, it's using the green diodes, but it's not doing it because it's not on my arm right now. And then if I go to blood oxygen, here, it's using green diode technology too. As we've learned, red diode is better for blood oxygen, and many of the newer watches have red, but this one's constantly giving me 97. I've done 4 readings already, and it's using that green technology. Okay, then you get your music player. It's simply a remote music player if you're tethered to the phone, and you have a service set up like Spotify or one of those streaming, then this will play it through the watch from your phone, okay, because it's Bluetooth tethered. Then you get your phone calling stuff. You've got, now that's the same as what we got to from the other one, and same situation. It doesn't work unless you activate it, but it is there. Your overall status for your step count, last night's sleep time. Here you go. This is what I got last night. Overall step count, status, and then of course you've got a stopwatch that you can activate, which is kind of colorful, and when you leave it, it puts it in pause. When you come back, you can pick it up, but it doesn't run in the background. But it also doesn't clear itself either, which is kind of nice if you want to keep a running log. You've got weather. You can set for centigrade or Fahrenheit in your area. And none of these panels move up to show you more information. It's all a one-screen pony for each of these categories. Messages we already saw, and overall settings, power off, reset, and info we already looked at as well. So those are the different activities from here. And we went over here to see you've got the call information. Then you've got now the actual tabs or screens for the step count and the heart rate, blood pressure, blood oxygen, your music player, sleep time, training, temperature, and so forth. So you can get to them 2 ways. You can either scroll through them this way, or you can just go through them page by page this way. You with me? All right, let's take a look at the app now and how that interfaces with this watch. We're back to GloryFit. We've reviewed this several times for other watches. If I skip something, that's all right. Look at the GloryFit app for a different watch and you'll see the same kind of information. Had this on all day and yesterday, so I've got a nice track record of heart rate. When you tap anywhere on it, you're getting the reading of that moment, and that's really good. A lot of watches or phones, apps don't do that level of detail, and I'm glad to see that. It's not taking us, oh, there we go. Yeah, if you touch up higher, it'll take you deeper into it. You get a much larger chart with measurements versus time, and you get your detail in the zones that you're in as well. Along with your averages and high and low. And you can export this and you can change to a different date on the calendar in a couple of different ways. So really well done overall continuous heart rate. Your sleep record, like this, when you tap on it, it's not bringing up information, but it is showing you the general categories, the time, and so forth, and they're color-coded. It gives you advice that you slept too late and have some lack of sleep, and your deep and high, and your total time, and week, month, and so forth. Very simple. There's no REM sleeping or scientific sleeping, monitoring sleep apnea or blood oxygen during your sleep. No, this is a very basic watch. Blood pressure records are here. These are way too low for me, so I suggest if you use it for blood pressure, definitely check it against your calibrated instruments, your cuff or whatever, to make sure that you're getting accurate readings. And that's all you got are these three things. You can turn them on and off, but you can't add blood oxygen or any of the other more sophisticated readings to the app. It's a kind of a yesterday's app happening on today's watches. Definitely needs an update. Sport, this is your sporting activity. You can set what you want, walking, riding, whatnot, and go. Your device, all of the things you can turn on and off are here. Not going to go into all of them. If you want to see them, like I said, we've reviewed it before, but I will show you in the dial center. It ties into the server, and it brings down the different dials that are available. My dial shows you, here's one custom one that I downloaded here, or from the dial center, and then you can create your own custom dials. Let's see, there we go, now they're popping in. That's the one I put on the watch. I really like that, but look at some of these other ones. They're pretty neat, colorful. That's all you've got though. Some analog, some digital, and you can install one to your watch. So let's take a look at that. Here we are on the watch. I can press and hold and switch us over to another colorful one that's kind of gold. So if you get this in gold, that might be really pretty. Really quick timeout, and I haven't been able to change that. Not total. Oh, I guess I am in the mode already. There we go. And here's another analog type watch and the things that are shown on it. Notice that some of it's still in Chinese, and if I bring that up full, it switches to English. So the thumbnail is on there in Chinese, but the actual watch face will be in your chosen language. And we're having trouble getting in it again. There we go. There's a colorful one that's on this one. Here's another digital one. And that's my fun one here. And I like it because you get the power reading, 95%. All this other stuff is on here. You've got weather forecast. Is it going to do it that way? There we go. Kind of a little slow, but it still does. Anyway, yeah, it's a basic smartwatch with a really quick timeout. And that's that fun custom face there. So that's all of the stuff for here. You have some universal settings for finding it, units. Oh, here we go, on screen time. Yeah, you have to change this from inside the app. I'm going to go up to 15 seconds. That should give us a little longer now before it times out. Let's see. Okay, that's more reasonable. Maybe after you touch it, it'll last a little bit longer. Again, now if you touch this, it says power on. And if you've got it tethered to your phone for calling like you would with earbuds, you'll now be able to do your phone calling. 24-hour, and you can set the language differently or let it track your phone. And that's it for here. And then there's you. You can put in your own icon and information. I generally do female in case it has period tracking. And it's gender specific, but this one does not, so you don't have that additional thing. Oh, I'm sorry, here it is. You have it here, but it doesn't push it to the watch. I haven't seen it on the watch, but you can set up your period times, duration, cycle. Okay, so as long as you've registered female, you have it within the app. Third-party apps, only WeChat. There's nothing for Google Fit or Strava or any of the others. And you can do your permission settings, your overall system settings, log out of the app, and so forth. So basically, you got a nice continuous heart rate, you got some okay sleep record information, and some questionable individual blood pressure readings on the app. Nothing that covers the blood oxygen, though. You can remotely, I believe, start taking a reading, which it's doing right now. Simulated chart there, of course. So as a COVID kind of a watch, if somebody's, convalescing in the other room and you don't want to get infected, and they're wearing the watch, you're on the other side of the wall tethered in Bluetooth, you should be able to take readings remotely, at least for blood pressure. Of course, heart rate is continuous, so that you can just look at and monitor. It's a long time to get the blood pressure too. Again, they're all using algorithms that depend on the photodiode shining into your arm and the blood moving through your capillaries. Again, I'm probably around 130, 128, 132 typically, and it's constantly giving me a low systolic. Diastolic, I don't know, probably 70 to 90. I would need to verify with my cuff on whether this is accurate or not, and you should do that too for any of these kind of readings. All right, that's the watch. Here's what it looks like on. It is kind of on the thick side, especially in silver with the black below it. It does look like it raises it up a bit, so it's going to give you that tin can kind of a look with a metal twisty cap on it. It really looks like you could twirl that and take it off. Yeah, it's the GTR for round 2, and it's okay. At the price level, it's not too bad. Again, you can get this from the ZBlaze official store at AliExpress. Check, look at that. You got coupons right here, and if I've got a special coupon for you, we can knock a few dollars off of this as well. Actually, it looks like it's $34.50 right now, so it's down below $35. But check it out at the time you're ready to buy and see what the best prices we have for you. Banggood also offers it, and again, they'll probably drop their prices comparable with a coupon. So yeah, just check when you're ready to buy and see what we've got. And we have actually a very special page that you can go to constantly see what the best price on a lot of these watches are. I'll have that link in the show notes for you as well. That's it. The ZEBLAZE GTR 2, which is Bluetooth calling now, but not as waterproof as the original GTR, which was 5 ATM, no Bluetooth calling, but definitely you could swim with it. Your choice. All right, we'll see you again soon.